So this is more with our linear transformations. Let's just take a look at some of this. So identify the steeper line. So I've got here y equals 2x plus 3 or x minus 5y equals 20. Well, in order to see which one's steeper, I need to be able to graph them. This one I can graph, y equals 2x plus 3. I can put it in my calculator and I can graph it. I can't on this one. So I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to solve for y equals mx plus b for slope-intercept form. So we're going to move the x and divide the y. So there's a 1 right here, so I'm going to subtract 1x from both sides. So that's going to cancel out and leave me negative 5y equals, I like to put the x first, the variable first, followed by the constant or the intercept. Move the x, check, I did it. Let's divide everything by the y. Everything means everything, not just the numbers I want to divide. So here we go. So y equals negative 1 over negative 5 gives me 1/5 x. 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. So I've got y equals 2x plus 3. And I've got y equals 1/5 x minus 4. Now, when I'm looking at steepness, you need to remember I'm looking at the slope. If I'm talking about how steep it is, I want to know which one's steeper, 2 or 1/5. Well, if you can't remember, hopefully you're thinking, I think it's the 2. You are right if you're thinking that. But let me show you on here so that you can kind of see how to look at it. I don't have to worry about this part, because that, remember, when it's on the end, that's a vertical shift. So what I'm going to do is just look at 2x versus 1/5 x. I'm going to graph those. Here's 2x, and here's 1/5 x. Which one's steeper? Yeah, it's pretty easy to see that this one right here is the steeper one. So I'm going to write steeper. Okay, let's try the next one. This one, neither one is solved. So I'm going to draw the line. I'm going to move the x and divide the y. Remember there's a 1 right here. So I'm going to move negative 1x to the other side. That'll cancel out, leave me with 10y equals, put the x first and then the intercept. I need to get rid of the 10, move the x, divide everything by the y. Everything, not just the ones you want. So y equals negative 1 over 10x plus 1 over 10. I don't really care about that 1 over 10 on the end. It's going to go away anyway. Over here, I'm going to move this over so I can work with it a little better. Move the x, divide the y. So let's move the x. Oops. So 20y equals, x is first, and then the number. Let's divide everything by 20. Everything, not just the ones you want. So y equals negative 3 over 20x plus 1 over 20. Ew, ugh. Okay, here we go. Let's see how your fractions are. So I only need to worry about 1/10 and 3/20. So I'm going to do alpha y equals, and I'll do negative 1 on top and 10 on bottom, and then the x. And then I also need to do the other one, negative 3, 20, and the x. Which one's steeper? Oh, let's see if I can get that over there. So the second one. So you're like, wait, which one's steeper? I wonder if it would be easier if I did this for you to see. What if I took this and said positive 1, oops, I can't get over. There we go. And made this 3 and then graphed it if it's easier to see it this way. I bet it'll be easier to see it that way. Yeah. When they're both positive, you can see the steeper one is that red one just by a little bit. And if you think about it, another way to look at it would be, which of these is bigger? When you divide this out, you get 0.1. This is 0.15. You want 15 cents or 10 cents? Not that either one is a lot, but you want this one. So this one is bigger, making this one steeper. It's kind of interesting on this one. I wouldn't put one like that because I guess you could say, if you're going the other way, if you insert the negatives, and graph it, then you would say 1/10 because the 1/10 is on top. But it's going negative, so I'm not sure. I like to look at it as money and go, okay, this is the bigger one, so this is going to be our steeper one. But it goes under down here, so interesting enough. We're going to leave it at that. I like that. Okay, here we go. Describe the transformation. All right, so here we go. Parent function f of x equals x. That results in g of x. So when we look at this, I'm going to tell you there are 2 transformations. See if you can figure them out. First one, I'm going to look at that 9. It is not in parentheses with the x. It's on the end. So this is moving up 9. Then I've got that negative right there. Remember, the negative reflects over the y-axis. All right, let's go here. How many do you think there are? I'll switch colors. I'm going to tell you there is 1. There is 2. There is actually 3 transformations. Now I'm going to walk you through them. You're going to write them. I'm going to do the 10 first. What does that negative 10 on the end do? Remember, on the end, when it's not with the x, it's just on the end, it is a vertical transformation. So this moves it down 10. Now, moving with the x right there in the middle, it says it's negative 2, but it's in those cute little heart-shaped parentheses. It's moving with the x. It's a line. It's not a positive 2, or negative 2, it's a positive 2. So negative 2 would be to the left, positive 2 would be to the right. So it shifts to the right 2 units. Ooh, what does that 3 do? Remember, on the steep and less steep, you're looking at, does it go between 0 and 1? Is it a fraction? Nope. So that means it's getting steeper. Or I could say it's getting vertically stretched. Remember, when you get steeper, that's like taking it and stretching it steeper. All right, so you got those 3. Here we go. On to the next one. I'm going to tell you on number 5, there is 1, 2, 3, just 3. All right, see if you can get all 3 of those. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. All right, what does the 5 do? Vertical shift up 5. The negative reflects over the y-axis. 1/2 means it is not getting steeper because fractions make my head hurt. I just want to lay my head down. So I'm getting compressed, or, laying down less steep by a factor of 1/2. All right, here we go. Number 6, write the equation in slope-intercept form and identify the slope and the y-intercept and graph the equation. So here we go. Negative 3x minus 4y equals 12. Move the x, divide the y. I'm going to do it, and you do it. All right, I move the x. Divide the y. And yes, you want to divide by -4. Go ahead and graph it. All right, so here's my equation. Now, I'm going to say, what's my slope? What's the y-intercept? The slope I can see is right here in the front. It's -3/4. The y-intercept is that whole term right there, -3. Start with the b, move with the m. Or, if you're not sure, go to your calculator, go into y equals, and put it in there. Put in alpha y equals -3/4x minus 3. Go to your table, pick some points, and then you can graph it. Okay? All right, so I'm going to actually graph it by hand. So -3, so 1, 2, 3. My slope is -3/4, so it should be going downhill when I graph it. So down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. All right, what if the line in number 6 is translated down 2 units? All right, so let me come over here. Let me write this right here. Y equals -3/4x minus 3. So what if I translate it down 2 units and reflect it? Okay, if I reflect it, that's pretty easy. So I'm going to write here my new equation. Y equals, to reflect it, I just need to do 3/4x. But to move it down 2 units, I need to take this and come down 2 more units. So this was 1, 2, 3. Where am I at now? 4, 5. Yeah, I'm down here at -5. So I would say 3/4 x. There's my new equation. Let's graph that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would look something like this. My hair is getting in there, isn't it? That's kind of funny feeling. I was like, what's going on? And here is my new one. That's a great one. I like that question. All right, here we go. Okay. Given the graph below, answer the questions that follow. Write the equation of the line as f of x. Okay, so here's my origin. So y equals mx plus b. What is the m and what is the b? 1, 2. Okay, b is pretty easy. It's a +2. But the slope, I've got a point here and a point here. So 1, 2, down 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 4. So my slope is down 2 and over 4, or -1/2. Okay, so my slope is -1/2. And I can check it. Down 1/2. Down 1/2. Back, let's see, up 1/2. Up 1/2. And I can see that I'm always on the line there. So the equation would be f of x equals mx plus b. Translate the graph up 2 units and then write the new equation. So I need to take this and move it up 2. Everything else needs to stay the same, right? Oops. So if I translate this up 2 units, now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. I am now at g of x, which is the same slope, but now we are at 4. Okay, reflect it and write the new equation h of x. Okay, so h of x, to reflect it, I just need to change the sign. So now it becomes positive 1/2 x plus 4. Graph h of x. So positive 4, we're right here. I'll use green. I'm right here. My slope is up 1 over 2. There's h of x. Dun, 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 dun. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're getting the hang of these transformations. Hopefully they're starting to stick with you. All right, thanks, y'all.